Hey guys, it's Memorizer92, and today I'm gonna cover Brelshaza Legion Raid Gate 3. Then let's get started. On the way to the Gate 3 boss, you will have to split in 3 groups and kill the mobs in each path. At the end of the path, there will be a named mob which has tremendous attack buff and defense buff. Clearing center path opens the way to him. Clearing left path removes the defense buff of the mob, and clearing right path removes the attack buff of the mob. After all the paths are cleared, kill the named mob and you will eventually arrive to the battle item changing area. Now the things to prepare. Formation of party 1 as ×3 and party 2 as ×3 plus 1 is important in this gate, so memorize your position. For the battle items, you take time stop, whirlwind grenade, and swift robe or marching flag. All 3 sidereal skills can be option in this gate. Dinave for damage, Wei for stagger, or Inanna for certain gimmick. When you enter the raid, you will meet the boss with 170 HP bar. Let me go on the major gimmicks first. Around 145 HP bar, the boss moves to the center and there will be 8 meteors falling on each side of ×3 and ×3 plus 1 direction. First, go to your position and touch the fallen meteor. Then you will do a keyboard pattern. After finishing typing, go to the boss and stagger her. Use the whirlwind grenade if the party stagger is bad. If there is a meteor that is not taken, then that meteor will explode and do massive damage on all 8 players. If you fail the stagger, then that's a raid wipe. Around 100 HP bar, the boss moves to the center and requires stagger check. At the same time, there will be a Medusa eye that will shoot the pulse either to inner side or outer side. If you look at wrong direction, then it will push you away with massive damage. You can tell which direction it is by looking at the pulse's spreading direction or by how the eye look like. Round eye means pulse to inner side. Cat eye means pulse to outer side. If it's directing inner side, you have to stagger the boss by watching at the eye. If it's directing outer side, you have to stagger the boss by not watching at the eye. This eye will slightly move to one direction after every pulse, so you will also have to align well with the eye while staggering. Use the whirlwind grenade if needed, or you can also use Wei on this gimmick. Around 43 HP bar, the boss moves to the center and shows the glow, which the color is either red, blue, or yellow. There will be Medusa eye spreading the pulse to outer side, and at the same time, 9 stars will be generated with different colors for each 3 stars. After that, 9 squares will be generated in the outer side of the stars, and eventually 9 diamonds will be generated in the far outer side. With that being said, you need 2 people for breaking stars, 3 people for breaking squares, and 3 people for breaking diamonds. Remember the color of the glow the boss shows or the color that is shown on the screen. 2 people have to break 3 identical color stars each that is not the color shown. For example, in this case, the color shown is blue, so one person have to break 3 yellow stars while dodging the Medusa, and the other person have to break 3 red stars while dodging the Medusa as well. If you get hit by the Medusa, it will push you away far with massive damage. So you can use Inanna on this gimmick. For the squares and diamonds, they just have to break 3 shapes, and they are good to go. You will have 10 seconds to break the shapes after the Medusa ends. After 10 seconds, for those who successfully broke the shapes will get shapes above their character. Those who have square have to gather with player who has square and star above. And those who have diamond have to stay far away from the player who has diamond and star above. Then they will get the shield and prevent from wipe attack. Players who fail to break diamonds or squares will die from this attack. If a player fails on breaking star, then 3 other people will die as well no matter what, which means both players failing the star is a raid wipe. By the way, failing on breaking the shape contains a lot of cases. Number 1, not breaking enough amount of shapes in time. Number 2, breaking other shapes. And number 3, this one is for stars, by the way, breaking wrong color shapes. So for instance, if a square player accidentally breaks 1 diamond, then he will die, and the person who will lack of that diamond will also die as well. The important part is you have to assign the position for this gimmick before the raid starts, since it's hard to improvise it. For the star, one person gets assigned with red and yellow, and the other person gets assigned with blue and yellow. If the boss shows red, then the person with red and yellow breaks yellow, and the other person breaks blue. If the boss shows yellow, then the person with red and yellow breaks red, and the other person breaks blue. If the boss shows blue, then the person with red and yellow breaks red, and the other person breaks yellow. For square, assign people on 5, 7, and 12 o'clock directions. Player on 5 o'clock will break 1, 2, 3. Player on 7 o'clock will break 4, 5, 6. And player on 12 o'clock will break 7, 8, 9. For diamond, assign people on 1, 6, 11 o'clock directions. Player on 1 o'clock will break 6, 7, 8. Player on 6 o'clock will break 9, 1, 2, and player on 11 o'clock will break 3, 4, 5. You want to put supporters on either square or diamond, since these shapes are easier to break than stars. Also, you can throw whirlwind grenade on the shape to break it faster. With all these positions set, your party will not be confused of their role. At 0 HP bar, the boss moves to the center. There will be 4 blue marks on ×3 position and 4 red marks on ×3 plus 1 position. Party 1 steps on ×3 and Party 2 steps on ×3 plus 1. Then you will get the color mark above the character. Soon, red and blue spears will randomly appear on either directions. Players have to step on the spear with correct color. There will be 4 red and 4 blue spears in total, and you have to at least successfully step on 6 spears to resolve this gimmick. You can figure out how many spears are done by looking at the stacks below boss's HP. If a wrong colored player steps in, then that spear will not be resolved. Also, as long as the mark color matches, it's okay for multiple people to step on one spear. There are 2 periodical gimmicks that's done alternatively, star and pentagon. The boss moves to the center and summons a star and a pentagon on each side of her. You have to see which shape she is showing and aggro the correct shape to her in time. For the opposite shape, you have to remove it by touching it. If it's successfully done, then there will be 4 circles glowing on ×3 plus 1 position. Each 2 players have to step on the circle according to their party numbers. Then players will get shield that prevents pulse attacks that almost guarantee kills players. If you fail putting the shape in time, the glowing circles that give you shield will not appear. Also, if someone fails to step on the circle in time, that part of players will not get the shield, and touching wrong shape will not make the shield as well. In these cases, players who doesn't have shield can use time stop right after getting hit by the first pulse. Be sure to use the time stop at that correct moment, because she does pulse attacks for a long time, which can kill you after the time stop ends if you don't use it in a correct moment. Maze. The boss moves to the center, making maze. She will start AoE attacking all the places, which will most likely kill you. There are some safety spots at the outer side of the maze. Several players will have yellow mark. Those players have to go to the direction where there's a glow in the minimap. Other players can go any part where it's safe. You cannot use any skills including spacebar in this gimmick, but you can use battle items that can help you, like swift rope or marching flag. Be careful not to touch the wall while escaping out, since it will pull you inside, which will most likely kill you by the AoE attack. If even one player who has the yellow mark fails to go into the glow spot, then all the players will be charmed for several seconds. This time, the normal patterns. One thing that you have to know is, once per normal patterns, if players get hit by it, a stack will be stacked below her HP. If it reaches 5, then she will do enhanced pattern, which is able to counter. So let's go over to these enhanced patterns first. Throwing scythe. The boss throws the scythe in AoE range. You can counter her at the end of the pattern. Poking spears. The boss summons clones which pokes where she is. You can counter her at the end of the pattern. Slash. The boss slashes into 3 different directions with the clones. You can counter her afterward. Normal patterns. Pierce with clones. The boss pierces front with the clones. In or out. The boss does AoE damage on outside if the attack color is purple, inside if the attack color is blue. In and out or out and in. The boss AoE attacks outside and then inside if it's red. If it's blue, inside first, then outside. Spin. The boss spins. If someone gets hit by it, then she spins once again at the end. Drawing shapes. The boss draws shapes on the field that does AoE damage on that area. Spiral pattern. The boss AoE attacks in spiral shape. Wave. The boss summons waves that will hit every direction except for one side. Rage. Around 80 HP bar, she starts to rage, and every single pattern she does will deal more damage with faster attack speed. Explosive orbs. The boss fires 4 orbs that explodes. If she's in rage, then she fires more orbs that chases players afterward. Imprison. The boss does AoE attacks that imprison players. Then she pierces forward, which is able to counter. She does AoE attack for 4 times if she's in rage mode. Dash. The boss dashes forward, hitting all players in the path. If she's in rage, she does this 3 times in a row, making triangle. Well guys, that's all for today. Thanks for watching and hit the sub if you liked it. Then see you guys on the next video. Bye bye.